Hello and welcome to JavaScript Evangelist. So in today's video, we are finally going to refactor our code. But make sure you have watched my previous video on ES6 objects and class so that you will be familiar with inheritance with classes. But before we dive into the code, I would ask you to join the conversation at gitter.im/JavaScript Evangelist. So let's get started by typing meteor.run into the command line and open your browser and you should land on this screen. I have done control plus so that the code looks a little bit near, and as you can see, this is the main.js file, and we are going to convert players list, add player, this form and this app into React components using ES6 class. So let's see how we can do it. I think I'll start with player first, since this is a single entity. Inside import, I'm going to create another folder over here I'll call this as UI, since we are going to add UI related stuff inside this folder. So this is inside import, and inside UI I'm going to add another folder over here, components, and inside this components I'm going to add a JavaScript file that is going to be called as player.js, and let's just go to main.js. So I'm just going to copy this entire constant variable over here and put it inside player.js, and so this is my intelligent WebStorm IDE, which has imported players automatically, which I'm using over here, and I'm going to introduce you to React variable, that is React component. So let's just create a class first. The class is going to be called player, and which extends React, and just say insert, and I'm going to use react.component. So as you can see, I have imported React. Inside this player, let's see what we have. So we have to return this. So simply I'm going to copy this, and over here React component by default it needs a render function. So this is a render method specifically, which we are able to use it since we are extending React component, and this render method has to always return a JSX. So this is our JSX, and since if you look at all this arguments over here, so we need props, we need to receive props. So I'm going to pass a constructor over here which it accepts props. So we'll be passing props to this player. Okay, I have just written constructor method over here, and my ID is yelling at me I missed superclass invocation at the moment. So this is specifically, it is asking that I should pass props like this. So that is fine. Let's see if I remove this, what happens. Will I be still able to use it? Let's see that. Instead of using props, I'm going to use this dot props, and I'm just going to replace props with this dot props, and as well I don't like this anonymous function over here. Put it inside its own function method. So I'm just going to call this method as update score, which is simply going to call like this. All right, so this is a players API which we are using from here. Update score expects an ID over here, underscore ID, as well the score. So we are going to update the score by this. So either you can use an enumerable over here, or I'm just going to pass +1 and -1 over here instead. Let's just copy this underscore ID over here, and since the property and the value, they both are same, you can just omit the second one. Same thing with this one. I'm just going to omit the second one since it was like this. I can just remove this. All right, so I'm just going to utilize the update score now, and which is on this on click. So on click, I have to pass this dot update score, and I need to pass the ID, since this is need to be passed from an anonymous function, and I'm just going to pass this dot props dot underscore ID as well. This is a +1, so I'm just going to pass a +1, and I'll just copy this and paste it over here and just make this -1, and it should work. And our code is already looking really good, and we are using lesser lines over here. Remove player is remaining, so let's just copy this constant and paste it over here. So I'm just going to call it like this. All right, and same thing, this dot remove player, and let's see if it's working fine. But before that, I'm just going to remove the old code. So let's just export this player now, so that we'll be able to use it outside. So let's just go to main.js and completely remove this player constant, and let's see where we are using. So we are using player over here, and I'm just going to hit alt enter, which injects import player from component player, which is like this. Otherwise, what we can do is we can simply write it manually, import player from. So I have to give a path. This is going to be a relative path. So main.js, I have to go one folder outside, go inside imports folder, and after that I have to go inside UI folder, then components, and you have to select the player. That's it. And let's see if it's working fine or not. And I'm just going to refresh, and you can see we are facing a lot of errors over here. So player.js line number 4, I'm missing something. Sorry, so silly of me, I forgot to pass the class keyword over here while adding this. Okay, so let's see if it's working fine, and we are rendering. Let's refresh. All right, so everything is looking good. Okay, so let's increase the score. Okay, it's working. Let's increase it one more. Let's reduce it. Okay, so you might be wondering, how come this is working? I'm not even passing a constructor. Okay, so you need to pass constructor when you have to inherit all the React lifecycle methods. We are going to learn about lifecycle methods in my upcoming series. But for now, since we are not utilizing entire, in a short explanation, we are not utilizing React component 100% over here. So we just want the render method, which comes by default. The super global function, it's not needed at this point, and it's working fine. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'd be really happy if you subscribe and like to my videos. Thank you.